Hello and welcome back to the Frugal Granny UK channel. I'm Frugal Granny and my name's Ali. I'm a 64 and 3/4 year old semi-retiree and I am documenting my retirement journey from the time I resigned from my full-time job until I get my state pension in 2 years' time, and sharing with you how I address the problems and challenges I meet along the way. Today, after much deliberation and a lot of requesting from some of you, I'm going to give you a brief tour down into my basement, and we are going to look in my medium-sized freezer. I've already recorded this once, but I had my new glasses on and I'm still not really coping with near work with the varifocals, so I've put my old ones back on for today. And I had to delete the first tape because it was all fuzzy, so hopefully this one will go better. You can have a look and see what's down in the cellar briefly, not a full tour, briefly, and we'll go into the medium-sized freezer. Okay, so let's get into the cellar. 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute. There we go. Right, so that's what I see when I open the cellar door. I've never been terribly happy about going down there, but I'm better at it than I was. And I've painted the top step white so I don't accidentally miss my footing and go tumbling down those awful stone steps. So you can see them there. There's no handrail really. Those things running along the right are central heating pipes, and if I grabbed those I think they would probably break, and that would be terrible. So anyway, what I really need to do, I guess, is probably find a handle and just sort of screw that to the wooden bit on the left, so I've got something to hold on to as I go down. But anyway, I'm going to ease my way down there now, and I will see you at the bottom and we will have a look in the freezer. Okay, so there's the infamous medium-sized freezer. As I've told a few people before, it's about the size of a washing machine. It's standing on a pallet because this basement does flood. It comes up through the floor when there's a lot of rain, and the pallet is just to keep the freezer out of the water. Down here I've got my supply of oil. There's 4 litres of olive oil there. There are rather 5 bottles of 5 litres of oil, and I think there's 2 3-litre bottles there as well. The olive oil should keep me going for a year, and the other oil should keep me going for a good 2 years. Right, I am just going to go and get the tripod and then we'll see what we can do. Okay, I'm not really quite sure how this is going to work. The lighting's not brilliant down here, which I've said before. Right, so that's what's in the freezer. Let me just make sure that that's focused and as bright as it can be. I may have to detach the video and do a voiceover on this, but I'll do my best. First of all, I've got 2 bottles of semi-skim milk. And then in this basket here, 1 bag of chicken stock, and then 12 blocks of homemade butter that I made with excess double cream that I got on offer after last Christmas. Then there are 4 blocks of salted butter there, which have been in here quite a while, but I'm sure they're fine. And there's another one there of, yep, so there's 5 blocks of salted butter there. Let me just get this basket out. Then here, hold it there. So here we've got a bag of blackberries from the garden. 3 tubs of stewed raspberries, stewed in their own juice, and I will make that into jam at some point. 3 more bags of chicken stock, homemade. This carrier bag's got some chicken breast in it that I've had a bit of a while. There's 4 bags there of about 300 grams of uncubed chicken breast. 4 bags in there. Then there's a bag of finger rolls. Two white batons that I've wrapped up so they don't dehydrate. Some burger buns. Some more burger buns. And here I've got 4 Spanish chorizo sausages that they were on offer a while back. I got those at a good reduction, and they stay down here, and then I keep a few upstairs as well, so when the upstairs stash runs down I shall bring these upstairs. This will probably last me another year. Then I've got in the back right hand corner, I think, yeah, I've got seven tubs of the Vitalite because it was on a really good loyalty card offer a way back, and I also, again, I think had a coupon for it, so, and I got a discount voucher from my office job, so yeah, this has been in here at least 7 months, and so I bought these while the going was good. They were a really, really good price. You can't get them for this price anymore. So there are 7 in here. I'm not going to get them all out. It's very cold holding all of those. And then and I've got a few ready meals here for when I'm on my own. There's a chicken madras, chicken tikka masala, chicken korma, and I think there are 2 tandoori style butter chickens. The other one's just down there, I'm not going to get it out. I like these ready meals, the curry ones anyway, but not the really hot ones. I've tried some of the Chinese meals and I don't like them, so I just stick to chicken madras, chicken korma, and the tikka masala, and sometimes the butter chicken. The pinch of nom ready meals for curry are also very nice. I like those. Right, then at the back here I've got quite a few stone-baked cranberry, raisin and cashew bloomers. I love these, sliced up for breakfast with a little bit of cheese, especially if it's Wensleydale. Let me just see how many of these I've got. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I've got 4 of these, and they were on yellow label, and if I see them on yellow label when I'm going for a shift, I scoop them up and buy them, because if I waited for colleagues' shop they would be gone. They're very, very popular, so I've got 4 of those in here. Then 3 bags of blueberries. And then here is a bag of salmon fillets. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so there's 10 salmon fillets in there in portions of 2. And there's 4 bags of 2 here. That salmon will last us till Christmas. And then in here is the chicken that you saw me preparing and freezing in last Monday's magazine video. So there should be 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm just going to put those back in. As I said in that Monday magazine episode, this chicken should last us till Christmas. It should last 4 months, 1 bag a month. And then in the back left corner here, I've got the bacon that I bought on offer at the same time as the chicken. So there are 12 of these, 10 unsmoked back bacon rashers. So there's 12 of these. So that will last me well into the new year. 1 a week, that's 3 months. I'm sure it'll last longer than that. And then I've got 2 of these, 2 times 10 unsmoked back bacon rashers. So that one and that one, they would have been stuck together. They were on an offer last time I bought bacon. So all in all, I've got 14 bacons in there. So that's September, October, November, and 2 weeks to Christmas. That will last till Christmas. Hang on, let me just put the oldest ones on top. That's right. So there you are, the mystery of the medium-sized freezer revealed. So it's basically chicken, salmon, bacon, a few ready meals, a few tubs of Vitalite. Some cashew loaves. 3 bags of blueberries. It never goes back in the way it came out, does it? When you're trying to pack a freezer. 4 chorizo sausages. 3 tubs of stewed raspberries. Where were they? Let's try there. Burger buns. Finger rolls. Butter. Chicken stock. Milk. Where's the milk? Milk. Blackberries. More chicken stock. 2 white batons. More chicken stock. So you can see I've frozen that one in a takeaway tub and then turned it out. And then the chicken. And that's it. Okay. Well, I'm down here. The room ahead, behind the freezer, is the old coal hole. The coal would have come down a chute just behind those tote boxes. There's a chute with a hole where the coal would have come down. And on the left, behind the wall, which you can't see at the moment, is where I keep all of my paint and my cleaning supplies and things. Not washing powder, but stuff that's not going to get affected if it gets damp. Then down here is my stash of oil. I've got 4 litres of olive oil, 5 times 5 litres of vegetable or sunflower oil, and 2 3-litre bottles of sunflower oil, and the olive oil should keep me going for a year. I use about 1 bottle every 3 months, and the other oil should keep me going for about 2 years, because I bake mainly with oil. I bake muffins and waffles which need oil rather than a solid fat. Also if I'm roasting vegetables or something. And then you can just see in there briefly, you can see my other freezer poking around the corner. That's the big front cellar. We'll go in there another day. The boxes on that table have got 2 mannequins in them, which my youngest son, I bought those when he was doing his final major project for his BTEC in graphic design, and he'd done some branded sweatshirts and clothing, and we needed something to display them on. So I've still got those, and again I'm contemplating how to downsize those. I think we've got to that point now where I think we're not going to need them again. And then down here there's my water stash. It's not a very big stash at the moment. That's 4 5-litre bottles of water, which will see 2 of us through a couple of days for drinking and cooking. I really need to increase that. I better put it on my list. And then there's some empty wine boxes there that were probably waiting for me to put things in ready for Christmas, but I haven't got the funds at the moment, so I'll think about that another time. And then here are the steps back up to daylight. I wonder who's at the top of the steps. Let's go and see. Hey kitty. Hey kitty. Are you at the top of the steps? You're a poppet. Okay, I use the steps for a little bit of storage. Top right I've got bleach and white spirit. Then there's shoe cleaning stuff, a waste food caddy that I'm not using at the moment, some screen wash and some hand sanitizer. And then top left there is the bottle of oil that I'm actually using at the moment. Right, let me get up here without hurting myself. I'll be quite honest with you, I do get nervous of steps and stairs, because I worked for an editor once who fell downstairs in the middle of the night and broke her neck and died. She was the editor of what was she doing? She was the editor for a women's journal that I contributed to at the time, and I'd only just started working for her, and she died by falling downstairs. It was just awful, absolutely awful. Anyway, I'm going to get back up here and then we'll keep going. 1 minute. I think I showed you during the Prepper Pantry tour what was in the cellar head, but there's instant noodles, sun-dried tomatoes, marmalade, lingonberry jam. There's also some table sauces there which are on 4 for 3 recently, so I stocked up for a bit. And then down there there's light bulbs and boxes of hooks and nails and things there, and a brush and a spider brush and a radiator brush. There we go. So just let me talk to you briefly at the end of that little tour about the way I try and organise my freezers, and it has some sort of bearing on the way I shop as well. When I still had all of my children at home and I was still married, I tended to make a meal plan for the week, and then I would go and shop what we needed and we would stick to the meal plan. And the meal plan obviously would be tailored to the weekly budget that we had. I mean, one thing that amazes me is that 6 of us used to live on the same amount of money that 2 of us, if not one of us, is living on now. It's crazy how prices have gone up. But anyway, a few years ago, I think it might be an idea if you watched my Prepper Pantry tour, because that would probably feed into what I'm about to say, is a few years ago I decided that I wanted to stock up, and rather than depending on shopping weekly and running everything down to practically zero and then going back to the shops again, I really wanted there to be a bit more of a buffer in my pantry and in my freezer. And so basically what I did was I made a list of the meals that we normally eat, the meals that I eat, and then identified the ingredients in those recipes or those meals that could actually be stored in a freezer. And then I stocked up on them basically. Initially I started to stock up for about 3 months, and then I stocked up for 6 months, and then I think I got another freezer and began to stock up a little bit more, so that some things, as you can see, like the butter, I've got 12 packs of homemade butter there. You know, I can stock that up for a year, but I don't normally stock for longer than a year in a freezer. So I tend to sort of keep a bit of a stock of the things that I know we use on a regular basis. In that freezer, the things that are new, I would say, in the last 6 months since my whole plan to retire came into being, are the ready meals. The reason I've got those is because on the days that I do my long shifts at the supermarket, I'm not around to eat with my son. And so what I try and do, or what I'm starting to do, is occasionally, if I feel up to it with my appetite, I'm having a ready meal at lunchtime. Or if I'm not having a ready meal, I'm actually eating a rather larger picky bit lunch than I would normally, because I'm not around at tea time, and my son's now got to the point where he and his girlfriend want to cook for themselves, so I'm not really having to worry about them too much anymore. I think I cook for my son and myself about twice a week now, which is nice. It's nice to have some time together and catch up. Yeah, so that freezer down there, as you could see, has got chicken, it's got salmon, it's got bacon, and it's got Vitalite. Now, I buy Vitalite because my sons went through a vegan phase at one point, and I was buying Vitalite for him, and I really like it, so I keep buying the Vitalite. There's butter there for baking as well as for cooking. The chorizo sausages go in things like savoury rice, chicken and chorizo pasta bake. Sometimes I chop them into soups, it just depends. And what else is in there? Chicken stock is for soups and risottos. The raisin, cashew and cranberry bread, I like that sliced with cheese for breakfast. Sometimes I eat it for lunch. So there's things in there that I know I'm going to eat, and I know that if they're in there, I can grab something, and with the stuff that's in my pantry and the bits that are in my vegetable freezer that you saw in, I think it was in a Monday magazine recently, Monday magazine 2, I think I did a freezer tour of the fridge freezer drawers. Then, you know, with rice and pasta and dried milk and frozen eggs, I can make quite a lot of things without really having to worry about dashing out to the shops. So not having to dash out to the shops is also a money-saving thing. It saves you on time, saves you on fuel, and it also saves you money, because I can guarantee you, if you go down to the shops because you've forgotten something, you'll come back with more than that forgotten something. I meet a lot of people who come to the tills with a whole load of stuff, and they say to me, I only came in for milk, I only came in for bananas, and it's almost like they're confessing to me and expecting me to absolve them for picking up all these other things that they really hadn't planned to pick up. But we all do it, some of us to greater extremes than others. And sometimes people decide while they're there picking up just the milk or bananas that they'll do next week's shop while they're at it. So in a sense, that's saving time and money. Shopping, I tend to think it's best to go with the list and stick to it, unless you find something amazing that you weren't expecting, that you know is on your, what I would call, master list. Because effectively the things in my freezer are things that are on my master list, so I know that they're all going to get used in various bits and pieces. So yeah, that's that freezer. I've got 2 more freezers down there, one smaller than that, a lot smaller than that, so small it's almost not worth having. And I try to keep that one decommissioned, but that one is running at the moment because it's got, funnily enough, more cashew loaves in it, and a few other bits and pieces. And the really big one's got things like mince and sausages and batch cooked spaghetti sauces and chili in it. I'm not sure what else that one's got in it. I think that one's the one that's going to get sorted out next. And then I've got one more freezer in the Pug Snug, which has got drawers, and that one tends to be for seafood, cheese, and I've got a drawer full of berries for that one, and yeah, small picky bit things. Anyway, we can have a look in that one at some point too, but I hope that freezer has been interesting to you. I know I'm not the only person who has multiple freezers. I found a guy online today who'd got 8 freezers, and they were big enough to put a caribou in. So lucky chap to have property big enough to run those. But yeah, so anyway, now you've seen in my freezer, my medium-sized freezer anyway, you've had a brief look into the coal cellar. In those totes, that's where I keep my cooking things that I don't use terribly often, like my jam pan. There's a spare set of mugs, which hopefully my son will take when he moves out. There's my slow cooker is down there, and spare jars for making jam and things like that. I'll show you the washing things, the household chemicals at some point, but that's obviously not for today. And then you saw the oil, you saw my ridiculously small stash of water, and the 2 boxes with the mannequins in. Honestly, they really need to go. They really, really do. Maybe I can use them for the wardrobe tour video, and then I can get rid of them. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that little tour. I hope you enjoyed seeing Kitty peering down from on high. I sometimes think that's what my view of heaven's going to be like. She's going to be waiting for me at the top of the steps, bathed in light, along with her big sister. But hopefully that's not going to be for a while yet. But anyway, it's lovely to see you, and I'll see you again on Monday for Magazine Monday, and I'm busy collecting all sorts of snippets that I hope you will find interesting. Until then, have a lovely weekend, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye now.